the intro. Welcome to Rich Talks, podcast where we do music commentary, cultural commentary, deep dives, and just interesting topics in general. I'm your host, Unc, aka Ree. Now let's get into it. So today we're doing like a little bit of a special episode for y'all. I did say that I did want to do an episode like a while ago. I was mentioning how I wanted to kind of do an episode where I kind of talk to you guys a little bit more about like the things that men have to deal with that we never actually get to really discuss, right? Because nobody ever checks on men, right? Anyways, so to start things off, first let me introduce my guest because I'm being very rude by not doing so. My guest this evening, ladies and gentlemen, JahMario.
What's going on, guys?
How you been, brother?
Just taking it day by day.
Day by day, man. No, I get it. I totally get it. Now, I've known this brother since since 2007? Yeah, 2007. Yeah, it's been a long ass time.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long ass time, man. And this is definitely a great brother to talk to. Very easy to talk to. Very full of knowledge, and yeah, I mean, let's. I guess before we get into like the deep topic, let's get a little more about you. All right? I guess tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm a gamer, I'm a streamer, very chill guy. You can see I love pets. I got my dog here.
Shoutouts Banjo.
Yeah. I like to do in a lot of like helping and help teach people and help people and motivate people. A lot of energy. I love to get out of the house, do a lot of fun things, watch TV, watch movies. I do a lot of photography as well, just trying to get back into it. I work for the bank, so deal with a lot of fraud. So it's.
Wait, so you work in the fraud department of the bank, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So give us like a funny story in regards to like catching somebody in like a fraudulent act or something.
Oh yeah, well there's one priceless one actually I won't forget. So this one guy calls in, I can see all the information that's on there, we can see everything. So I see notes that say that this guy called in and said, oh, he was receiving e-transfers from somebody like a friend. And then somehow they confirm something, and then he calls back again, and I ask him, I said, so what about these e-transfers? Oh, I don't know where they came from. So I'm looking at these notes, I'm like, you just called earlier today and said that these came from a friend. So I'm getting really kind of worried here.
Oh, no.
So I look up and I see all these things happening. There's so many e-transfers coming in, but then I noticed later into the call that as soon as e-transfers come in, he's sending it somewhere.
That's crazy.
So I look at him and say, okay, so if you don't know where these e-transfers are coming from,
that's crazy.
Then why are the money that you are having come to your account and you're just sending it elsewhere? Like you're spending money you don't know where it's coming from.
Oh my god! This guy really thought he could like finesse the bank without like having a proper.
So when I asked him that, it was just bare crickets. Just couldn't say anything. So I told him, I said, you know what? Everything's right here. It's going to be under review, under investigation right now, so I can't unlock your account at the point. So I'm like, look, man, I get a lot of really crazy, bizarre scenarios, but a lot of times they're legit scenarios, but you just have to look really deep, much deeper to uncover like some things that are not happening that should be happening. It's either their fault or process code that are calling it.
I got a question. Was your bank involved in when the Freedom Convoy was happening and the government decided to like freeze people's bank accounts and whatnot? Like, were any of those people like involved in, like, were they with your bank at all? And, like, were you involved at all? Like, did you have any information? Like, do banks talk to each other about stuff like that? Like, oh, well, we're gonna freeze this person's bank account. Like,
I mean, that's the first I heard of that story. So I don't really see that we deliberately just kind of hold things in general. Like, there is a lot of scams and frauds out there in general.
That's a fact.
We just have to constantly monitor and profile just to make sure, because as fraud continues to increase and technology continues to increase, there's always going to be greater risks and challenges that happen.
That's true.
One of the major things that I saw that I never heard of before, I didn't know that voicemail hacking was a thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean voicemail hacking?
So you know how when you log into your account, in any existing accounts in general, they'll send like those verification codes, right?
Right.
So sometimes when you log in, it'll send you that. Well, it'll send it to your number. Here's the thing with that. They decided to take this idea and mix it with voicemail forwarding. So the idea of voicemail forwarding is just so that, let's say you're not home, you're traveling, you're going to another country or whatnot, you don't want to miss any voicemail that come to you.
Okay.
People call your house line. It'll actually forward that to your number.
Right.
But you got to program that in there.
Yeah.
What these guys do is they try to get access to your information. So they get you to program the code, then put the phone number in.
What?
But they don't realize that with the number that they're entering in, they don't know what it's for.
Wow.
That number they're entering after the code is the phone number that it's going to be forwarding. So then they try to do this password reset deal, and it sends a verification code, but it bounces off your phone. And it sends it to the number that was programmed in.
This is some sneaky behavior.
They get this code, and they punch it in, and boop.
That's so sophisticated. I thought when you said like voicemail hacking, it would be something like, oh, they call your phone, and then as soon as you say hello, like they have your voice, so then they'll hang up and then like call back and do some weird shit.
We have voice prints and voice biometrics nowadays. AI is also out there as well too. So there are ways we can pick up on voice recorders. Like I don't have to worry about like when I get a scam call and it's like nobody's on the other line, but as soon as I say hello, then they just hang up, and like they're not stealing my voice or anything like that. It'd be very hard to do that because we can hear on the phone.
Yeah.
Because you have headsets, we're listening.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So if someone's using one of those voice recorder things,
there's
talking,
you
can hear the
noise.
sound.
There's some noise before you actually hear the thing.
Not before it. Just like it, like auto tuning.
Yeah.
You talk into something, and as the audio comes out different.
Interesting.
So it's modifying your sound to sound different.
Interesting.
But it's not like you're mimicking a voice. It's just changing the frequency of your own voice to make it sound different.
That's really interesting. Actually.
Right? So it's very easy to tell that that's not someone's human voice. It's very robotic sounding in general, right? I've got people calling with that.
So then, like, when we get like the scam calls and stuff, how do we? Because I don't even remember how I heard that people can just like. They do the scam calls to steal your voice. I'm trying to remember like where I even found that information. Like, how do we like? Are there like preventative things that we can do for stuff like that? Like, because I know like people just spoof numbers. Sometimes people just give your number to whoever.
Spoofing the numbers is easy kind of get by. It's easy to get by with that. But when it comes to like the recording someone's voice, it's very difficult to do. To try and put that in, you'd have to be a really crazy programmer AI to take that. I mean, there are apps out there too. I've seen apps on Instagram posting for it.
Mostly.
Right, but it still sounds very robotic, very generic, right? It doesn't actually it doesn't have the intelligence to really respond to certain questions that only you would know.
That's true. AI.
So how is that going to work either? They could have an app playing that's supposed to be responding to whatever's being said. I can ask questions and it can easily tell right away. So even if it sounds like you, but can you answer the question?
That is true. I guess that's the importance of having security questions.
Because we had to change a lot of them. So some of these questions we asked, we can definitely tell whether or not we need to send you somewhere to go with ID because we're not doing this right now, right? We made a lot of revamp changes for that. I had a couple ladies call me and then 2 calls in a row back to back. I asked them about it. They're not interested. Like, oh, I don't trust AI. I'm like, I completely get it. Right? Technology is going to keep changing and it's going to cause more issues. But
I mean, come on, we all watch Terminator.
yeah. I don't know about that. That's like 2099 kind of thing.
Skynet's no joke, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of the things that we do. We try to ask questions. I mean, your voice could be completely verified, but it's not even you.
Yeah. Wait.
Meaning here's the thing. So imagine someone we believe would be actually the client and we enroll you. But then the actual client who's actually calling in, it's say anytime down the road, the system's going to tell us.
We only see that shit in movies and TV. Like, well, if that can happen.
So it's not like someone stole information. So let's say, for example, you have Banjo.
Come on, man.
Let's say, for example, I mean, usually people that know their other person's card, they have, let's say I see a person's card number, I take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Right? You try to do something, you call them, right? They haven't called the bank either, so their voice is not really enrolled in the system, and you know enough about this person, right? It could be a close friend, it could be somebody you roommate with, right? And it's very simple. Take a picture, get some information, and then call in the bank, right?
That's true.
We have to make sure we enroll the right people. So even if we don't, let's say some mother and let's say my mom and her mom. My mom's looking after my grandmother.
Okay.
Right? It's my grandma's account. Right? My mom's not on there. So here we got my mom always calling into the bank about stuff. And then one day grandma decides to call the bank and we can't verify her voice, and what does our system say? Suspected fraudster.
Oh, so you guys like lock the account right away?
So we send them to the bank with their ID and let them verify this person. And we have to disconnect the ID, like delete the ID and re-enroll the actual person.
That sounds like a tedious process. And like,
it is a tedious process, but that's why we have to profile before that happens.
So how long would that take? Like, what if it's an emergency situation where the person's like maybe not even in the country, and well, actually no, they're in the country. They're not in the state, or like they're in a different province or whatever, and they just have to go to the bank quickly, and they're like, oh, we can't verify you. Like that's
we had an out of province process for that.
Okay.
Maybe we have an outside the country province for that.
You guys basically just know when people are already outside the country.
Well,
like,
not necessarily.
Depending on the transaction.
Not necessarily we know. I mean, they could be outside the country and we don't know that they left until they start doing something with their bank account.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Right. You gotta follow.
It was the same when I went to Peru.
Yeah, you got to follow the money, right?
Yeah.
Like I can go to Brazil and not spend a dime, come back.
And they didn't know nothing.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
So a lot of times we watch out for those type of transactions because people will go to the bank and pull out large amounts of cash. Why are you taking out so much cash? What are you doing?
Why do they ask that?
Right, because they'll go to one bank sender and they'll take out a large amount.
Are you guys allowed to ask? Like, are the tellers allowed to ask if we're like taking out a large amount of money? Like,
well, I mean, yeah, they can, but I mean, they can't hold you hostage. Oh, okay. I mean, if it's long
just
as
a courtesy thing, if you want to.
They just want to know if they're right. I mean, if they ask, but I don't know if they'll do. But if you're maxing out at the ATM in the bank center and you walk through and you're taking out one finger,
finished at the ATM,
and you keep going for each teller, so they might find that a bit unusual. But I look for large amounts. I'll go from one branch to one branch to one branch, and then I'm like, why are you taking like 3,000 to 5,000 each time? Like, what are you doing? I'm buying a car, or I'm putting a deposit on a vehicle or stuff like that, or a house. Okay, in scenarios like that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I see that sometimes.
Does it always make sense though? Because like, if the money's in your account, like, do you need to give cash?
Well,
like that amount of cash?
Well, it depends on
like a down payment or something.
It depends on the situation, because some people will actually do. Hold on. How did you get tied up in this?
Banjo is the greatest.
This guy. Not only you were like some sort of investigator, but you get still in trouble. What? I don't know. But what's his name? Okay.
Like basically, you can get in trouble from like the amounts. We were talking about the amounts when like how come people don't just leave it in the bank and then just do the transaction through the bank rather than like taking out the cash, large sums of it.
There are limits to different types of activity that we do. What you spend daily, what you can take out the machine daily, what you can send through email daily.
Why do you guys put such a huge cap on like daily transactions?
That part, there could be just because to minimize the amount of risk, and just in general. You can make changes to those limits though, right? But we just have a baseline where we just say this is what is default, right? You can make changes, and these changes could be assessing credit, assessing your eligibility for them to raise it. But it's like once you do something that is not acceptable or whatnot, then you might lose access to that, right? So, okay, credit card, you don't pay it after a certain period of time. Well, you lose your low interest rate.
That's true.
Go from 19 and now you're 25.
25?
I got a letter from Capital One, so
Yikes.
I'm at 19 with that one. So if I miss a payment twice within the year, then my rate will go up to 25.
It's a 6% increase just for missing two.
It'll go to 21. But that's the new default rate now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it goes to 25, and then once I make 12 consistent payments and I don't miss one, then it will go from 25 to 21. So I would lose my 19%. That was a notice that was sent to me in like June of 2021. So
permanently lose the 19.
So yeah, there's a lot of rates and different limits for those things. So I mean, they have to assess the eligibility on things. So okay,
the APR is crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah. So the importance of don't missing payments, right? Because that's going to cause an issue.
For sure.
But yeah, so it takes a large amount of cash out. They can pay cash for a vehicle. You're buying a cash. People sell motorcycles for like $5,000 or so. You can just go and pay cash, no problem.
This is true.
But electronic transfers, and I'm thankful that U.S. is not involved because e-transfers are only a Canadian thing.
Really? Mm-hmm. They don't have e-transfers in the States?
Nope.
That's why you guys have like Venmo and all these
cash apps.
That's why I'm like, how come there's no cash app in Canada? That makes perfect sense.
Right. So
we have e-transfer.
If they have a valid email address, they have a valid Canadian bank account, then they could still get e-transfer sent to them, even though they're in the States.
As long as they have a Canadian.
They need a Canadian bank account for that, right? There are like bank accounts that, like, say TD or TD and CIBC in different Canadian banks will see them in the U.S.
Yeah.
But you need to have an account for that. It's not like you go in an actual branch in itself in the U.S., right? They may have like those ATMs where you can use them. Yeah, man, that's why they have the U.S. cards. U.S. credit cards.
Interesting. And those usually have a lower APR on them?
I'm not sure.
It's about the same.
Not sure. I don't have a U.S. visa for anything. I don't really need anything. I got enough as it is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But that's kind of one of the scams we have to watch out for. Buying gift cards.
The gift card scam has been
running for a while. But
it's been running since we were in school, man.
It still happens.
That was the scam in college, man.
It still happens, man.
I still remember some people that we went to college with that were doing the gift card scam at the time. It's like, yo, you want a gift card? Like, no, I don't.
Job scams be doing the same thing, involving gift cards.
What?
Job scam, yeah. People get messages sent to them. Oh, job offer, no problem.
Oh yeah, I get those scam text messages about we're recruiting right now. Like, no, I'm not clicking your link.
Then they send you a check through an email. You put it in your account and they're asking you to go buy equipment, buy gift cards, buy this, and send them the stuff back to them.
This sounds so suspicious. Like, hold on.
Even just me saying that. Exactly.
Where's the people's common sense in this? Like, are they that desperate to the point where they're just gonna, somebody sent me a check, I'm not gonna think this suspicious at all?
Here's the thing. These are four main categories that cause someone to be a victim here.
Okay.
4 different scenarios. Young people.
That's a fact. Because inexperience, right? Yeah.
Right? Elderly people.
I don't know why they get caught up though. Like, they are the most experienced of people, and yet they get caught up the most. Is it like the I'm going to die soon mentality, or is it like the treat everybody like your grandchild mentality? Like, I don't get how they easily get like tricked.
I don't know. Young people, elderly people, immigrants, and desperate people.
How did they get the immigrants though? Because I know the government scams.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I say immigrant people is because, one, they're not familiar with the check system.
That's fair.
They don't know what checks are.
That's fair.
They're not familiar with e-transfers either. That's a whole new thing. And like I said, it's only a Canadian thing, so they wouldn't even know about it, right? They don't know about, what scam, what fraud and stuff like that is. They don't know you're not supposed to share your bank information with people. That's true. Right? So there's a lot of these things. They definitely don't know that checks are that are sent by email are 100% fraudulent.
Oh, for sure. Like, oh my God.
Right?
How does nobody notice that? Like, it's a check by email.
That's what I'm saying. Because young people, the younger generation, I grew up having to learn how to write
We had
checks.
to learn to write checks, for real. Like, we had to know what check.
But these young people, they don't.
That's true, because they just take a picture of the thing and, like, they can
just tap
mobile
their phone.
deposit. They can do the mobile
They tap
deposit
their phone.
now.
They put everything on their phone, their tablet. You know what I'm saying? They
I
send
remember.
e-transfers.
I
I can
remember
just tap
when-
my phone. I need a bank card. Just tap my.
What was it? TD or whoever just started implementing take a picture of the check to deposit it now. I'm like, whoa. Like, the first thought I had was like, I had two thoughts. One was, that's very convenient, and also, holy crap, that's dangerous. Like, that was very dangerous.
I mean, it is definitely convenient, and that's the thing. The younger generation, they fall victim to these frauds and scams because the mindset is so convenient.
Yeah.
They don't know about the inconvenience of things. They don't know how long a check's going to take to cash in their account. They might just operate on direct deposit.
Yeah.
You got parents that
Everyone operates on direct deposit.
Right.
Hey,
some businesses still issue out physical checks. Some businesses still do that.
I respect that.
Right?
I respect that.
Government can still do that.
Yeah.
If you have direct deposit set up, which is the push, it makes things a little easier, right? And it avoids things getting lost, stolen, compromised, you know what I'm saying? Like counterfeiting, that kind of thing.
That's true.
So it does help, but the young mind is not familiar with paperwork. They're not familiar with typewriters.
Yeah.
They got keyboards, they got wireless keyboards, Bluetooth, they got air keyboards, but they don't know what a typewriter looks like. Right?
My dad had like multiple typewriters growing up.
That's how I kid you not, 6th grade, I had to learn how to type on a typewriter.
It was actually hilarious watching my dad type on a typewriter, because no matter what, he would not move from doing the two fingers. And yet he was super proficient with it. Like, are you just
I've seen people that do really fast with that.
They're so proficient.
They got
like,
two fingers and they're super quick.
It's literally two fingers.
You know how we can type on keyboards without looking at it, right?
Yeah.
So imagine just doing two fingers.
It's so funny.
That's crazy.
That's actually hilarious.
So yeah, the young minds are not really, familiar with how checks work, right? Because they're so on the convenient basis mindset. Everything's so convenient. There's an app for everything.
That's a fact.
So if you're gonna send a check through email, oh sure, I'll believe that. And you put it in your account, I'm like, then your bank locks you off. You're like, well, what's wrong with it?
Oh man, as soon as the bank locks you off, it's like,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I didn't know how to do a check, so I go on Google and I just look and see images. I'm like, oh, so that was the only reason why images of checks would be on the internet.
Yup.
To show you how to do that. Why do you think the checkbooks are always changing?
They're constantly changing. Like,
right?
That's why they have those special, like, little characters on them. Like, they started doing that with the bills, too. I still remember when we had the $2 bill, man. They need to bring that back, man. What is this toonie business, man?
I don't know.
The $2 bill.
I don't know. I'm familiar with cash and coin, but the way they're treating coins now is kind of weird.
It's so weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Especially in Canada, it's weird.
They're pushing us towards coin usage often, and yet we also got rid of the penny. It's like, I don't understand what's going on.
I'm actually glad the penny's gone.
I am too. Don't get me wrong.
That filled my pockets more than anything else most days.
You're like, how many penny jars, man? Oh my god.
And you have to filter and shake them out to find the ones in there.
You have to go to Walmart, get the rolls, and roll every pen. Like, no.
I would do that just to get rid of them.
That's exactly why.
Because it was causing so much space.
Just so you could get rid of all those coins.
So I'm actually kind of glad they got rid of it, because you remember at Centennial, we had electronics class and whatnot.
Facts.
You remember soldering?
Soldering on that whack-ass breadboard that they gave us? What is this?
So all the metals that we use to kind of solder things and clean things off and put things on. So I find more use for copper for that.
This is true. Yeah.
Copper makes a really good conductor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people steal copper all the time.
So like copper wires that connect to circuit boards and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good to get rid of them. I mean, we can make more use of those, which I'm actually seeing a lot of exposed wires, showing a lot more copper-plated wires of anything.
That's because people are stealing so much of it now.
I don't know if it's copper-plated or just copper in general, and I think I'll know the difference when audio starts chipping in and out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is probably not really. But yeah, getting rid of some of the coin factor is very helpful. But who keeps change and coins and bills in their pocket?
It's crazy.
I can't remember the last time I just walked around, just had bills just sitting in my wallet. And I used to have a thing where it's like, okay, I keep a certain amount of cash bills in my wallet, just leave it there in case I need to. I still use my card and tap everywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I did that.
I don't like keeping cash either. Like it's so weird, man. Like society changed so much.
I feel weird putting $20 and leaving it in my wallet. I feel weird about it. I feel like I have to spend it.
Having cash on hand now. It's like, yo,
so
cash was king. Cash is still king.
It still is.
But we still feel weird about it now.
And even just having cash in my wallet makes me feel like I gotta spend it because
yeah. Because like, yo, why is it in my wallet? No, it needs to be spent. Like, what the hell?
So, and the mindset of the wallet is to save.
Yeah.
So when we are growing up, we have wallets. We know that wallet means you're saving. So you put cash there and you're saving it.
Even the wallet has changed. So I guess like the mentality of the use of the wallet
before we get there. But the whole saving cash in your wallet mentality, wallet equals save to us. Now everything is tap.
Literally.
So you open your wallet and there's no bills in there.
Never open in your wallet.
We save it because we're saving it online. We're not saving it.
Or we're
physically.
Collecting the receipts in our wallet, like giant wallet.
Now we get options if we want that or not.
You want your receipt? Like,
no,
I want my receipt.
I'll email the receipt to you. Perfect. I don't have to go anywhere. Right? So, I don't even know why the guy gave me a receipt earlier today. I went to pay gas and buy a car wash. He gave me a receipt with I'm like,
immediately tossed it. Right?
It's still in my car. It's still in my car.
What is this?
All I needed was a damn code.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, receipt, but that's fine because I got to put the receipt for the whole transaction. I'm like, You go to a cannabis shop. You pay for everything. Do you want your receipt? No. Do you want me to email it to you? Perfect. Sure.
It's like,
when have you checked that email receipt?
Never.
Exactly.
And then they have your email, and then they start sending you like newsletter shit and like.
No, I don't get the newsletters. I don't get the newsletters if I subscribe to it. But some places will ask you if you want to subscribe to their alert service.
A lot of the time,
or just have the email address used for receipt purposes.
Not all of them are going. I didn't know they could do that. I thought like when you sign up on the email, it's like, yo, you're getting.
No, when you're in the store
this unless you unsubscribe yourself.
Like when you're, yeah. But I mean, if you're in the store and you don't have a membership, for example, right? Canada Cabana probably has a membership. You go to a cannabis shop, they have a membership. Take your phone number.
Like they don't ask me about email receipts though. That's interesting.
I don't know. I haven't gone there, but I'm just saying this in general. Like it could be M&M meat shops, for example.
Right.
They have a membership that you can add your phone number and email to. But they might ask you if you want to get sent notifications for that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying that there could be a chance of me ask you for that, or you just have your email on file.
Yeah,
they can send you.
That's true.
Because why else are they asking if they want to email you the receipt?
Because they want your email on file. I'm telling you.
No, not just that. Not just that. It's also another ad. It's only a new thing that I've been seeing is emailing receipts now versus just printing it out. Right? Yeah. I do find the convenience of that. I think Rona does that now.
Really?
I think I went to Rona. I think they have the option to. I still sometimes ask for the receipt itself.
Yeah. Sometimes, but then I was like, why did I ask for this? I don't even need this. And then I end up crushing it and just leaving it in my car for several weeks. And then I clean my car and I'm like, why do I have all these receipts?
Yeah. The other factor of fraud with the young people, the elderly people, the immigrant people, and desperate people. The immigrant people not necessarily knowing what's happening, but they kind of get caught into these things. It's usually like their first time, and I can tell because they seem embarrassed. They don't really know. They're kind of shy about it. They're like, I'm confused. They don't really understand. So in those conversations, I get it, right?
Yeah.
The elderly people, they're not too into what's happening technology-wise, so they're a little bit really far behind. So it's very easy to get them caught into that, right? The young people. Because they lack experience, but they also lack the older generational mindset that occurred before them to even understand certain things. And desperate people that are just looking for, like this one lady. Oh my God! Not only that she couldn't speak English, though we had two bank representatives helping her out. One was I was talking to, one was doing the translation, and she was telling me that it's definitely a job scam because this guy sent her an email check she put in her account, and then she ended up having to buy gift cards and sent it to the guy.
Oh my God. So that scam makes me so mad.
So she's in the banking center now trying to get help, and we're telling her like, look, stop texting the guy.
Damn, she's still texting the guy
I'm talking
too.
to the banking center representative, and she's like, yeah, even as we're speaking, she's still texting.
That's insane.
I'm like, tell her to stop. Because she's really believing that this was really a job.
Oh my God.
And how they reach out to you. Facebook, WhatsApp, text message, they'll call you.
That's crazy.
I have one lady sent me a message about some job thing, and I'm like, well, she just said hi. I'm like, do I know you? And then next message came out, and it was just something about some job thing. I'm like, oh, sorry, I have a job, I'm not interested. And she sent another message after that, which then triggered me, because it seemed like it definitely feels like it was not an actual person. It feels like more as automated, because when I responded, that was it. Yeah. But I think there's someone also operating that too, because the next message I said, I work as a financial fraud analyst for the bank.
And they hung up immediately.
And I have a job already.
They hung up immediately.
I'm not interested. There's been no answer. There's no text message or anything like that followed. That was the end of the conversation, right? Wow. And because of what I first said, I was like, oh, how do you have my number? My number's not listed. That's the thing. My number's not listed.
That's how I always wonder how some of these people get people's numbers. Like, are people actually giving out my numbers?
There's a lot of skepticism I have about what these phone companies do, because there's a lot of solicitation that's going on, right? You get advertisements and whatnot, you see them on commercials and pop-ups all over the place on social media, right? They're just advertisements. Now, part of that could be automated, part of that could be manpower related, right? But how are these phone companies exchanging information like that? Like, how does my number end up showing up? How do you find my phone number? And not just that, I just changed my phone number in 2021.
That's what it sometimes feels. It just feels weird. It's like,
so when I get messages like that, I'm like, so how did you find my number? So instantly, right? And here's the thing that catches people. Oh my gosh. So I know that a lot of places, companies and businesses do these text alerts, right? My bank will do that. Shoppers will do that. When my medication's ready to pick up, they'll send you a text for that. My veterinarian does that. I have to reply yes to confirm my appointments and so on, right? Those don't come from localized phone numbers.
Not at all. They never come from localized numbers. I don't know why people think that like a 647 number is going to say, oh, this is from UPS. Like, what are you doing?
No.
What are you really doing?
And here's the danger.
And there's always typos in those emails too. Like, how do you guys not see the typo?
When I see the misspellings, I catch up. I know right away.
It's actually wild. Banjo, come here.
I know right away when I see that. So the thing is, with email money transfers, they have alerts that's sent to you. You can send it by email, but now you have the option to connect your phone number to it.
Yes, the mobile e-transfers. I'm like, why am I giving? No.
Yeah. So what I believe, I still haven't looked into that yet. I believe that in order for that to work, that phone number has to be registered to the email that's on that same account. So when you register for e-transfer service, you put your email on there. Once your email is registered, you can attach your phone number to that. Because Interact only notifies you by email.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But when you link your phone number to it, they'll send you an email.
I did used to get like text messages too, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking this off because it was confusing me. I'm like, I couldn't tell if it was a real thing or not, because I would see the email, I would see the text message, and I would check my email instead of just going through the text message link.
Oh yeah. So the thing is that Interact has is not a localized phone number. Andrew, hey.
Shout out to Banjo.
My dog is here, and he's sniffing the whole place down. Banjo, treat. Hey, treat. Look out. Come here. As he's licking dust, and he's licking dust and dirt and. Oh, now you smell it,
folks. Dogs like to eat dust if you allow them.
Well, it's not. I don't think he likes to eat dust because once it gets on his nose, he has to keep licking it off.
Lick it to get it off.
Yeah,
that's cute.
So you want to ask him to give me a high five?
Banjo, high five. Aw, there you go. Aw.
Oh boy,
that's
all right.
Cute. How long have you had this guy?
So Since 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. Beagle, blue heeler.
Getting older.
He's getting older, but he's getting old, but he's also getting very stubborn. So he like this
stuck
guy.
in his ways now.
No, not stuck in his ways. He adapts.
Oh.
He's one of these kind of like I know that some dogs, like when they get a certain age, they just kind of like. This guy changes his behavior based on what we're doing.
Interesting. I like that.
So like before he needed to go outside, he'd sit in front of the door with his legs sprawled open.
Yeah.
Now this dog will just either just stare at you, and his tail just keep wagging, just stare at you, or he'll sit down and just stare at you.
Or he'll ask for pets, like he's doing right now.
Yeah. So when I'm going outside, I used to like, as soon as he hear the door open, he come to the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going for a walk. Then it went from, okay, once I got everything on, shoes on, and the keys, I got everything in my hand, then you'll come. Now it's got not that doesn't even work. I have to open the door and have it, then he comes down the stairs. He's like, oh, I know what that means. It's time to go, but as I get stuff ready to get ready to go for a walk, I'm also rolling around the house, grabbing stuff, forget this. He's like, I don't know, what are you doing? I'll wait till I see a sign that triggers we're going outside, then I'll move.
Oh, man.
So sometimes he'll sit in his bed.
That's cute.
So I have to open the door, close the door, and then he comes out and looks at me. So he's a watchdog, man. Like
that's dope, man.
Yeah, so he's a very interesting breed. If you guys don't know, get a Beagle, man.
Yeah, no.
Beagles are straight up, it's where it's at.
They're also a lot of energy, though.
They can.
Yeah.
And they act very different with other Beagles that they don't do with other dogs.
Interesting.
So they interact with other dogs, whatever. But when they see another Beagle, it's like a sugar rush.
It's like, oh my God, you
so
look
much
like
energy.
Me. You look like me.
That's the energy that they have when they see.
I like that.
So when they recognize another Beagle, they know.
So beagles are kind of like the black people of dogs, because if you think about it, like as soon as you see another black person, you gotta hail them up. You know, like that happened. It happened to me.
You see how he's giving high fives already?
It happened to me in Peru, like for sure. I swear. Like we only encountered maybe like, I'm being generous, maybe 10 other black people, and every single instance that we encountered them, we all just knew. We all just hailed each other up because it's like one of those.
We just looked and we just
we all had to, yo, what up, man?
We don't have to say anything. We just look,
literally,
and move on,
right? It's just a thing. Like
we just acknowledge that we see you.
You have to, man. You have to acknowledge, man.
Yeah. So I mean, with the black culture and the history behind it,
worldwide,
that's kind of why I think that we're like that now.
It's worldwide, and I love it.
Yeah. So if no one else sees you, we see you.
Exactly. People just need that acknowledgement sometimes, though. You just really need to get that acknowledgement sometimes.
Yep.
And speaking on acknowledgement, how long have you been married?
Oh my gosh, I'd say 2014.
10 years?
No. 2011.
What?
So 14 in October to be 14.
Holy!
Yeah, bro.
That's a long time, man.
After we left Centennial, I think it was 2009, 2010, something like that. I got married the very next year.
What the?
The very next year after that.
How long were you guys together at Centennial?
We dated for like 4 years.
Okay, so that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
4 years on, so that's kind of when we did it.
Were you about to say on and off 4 years?
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
I felt myself saying that, but no. 4 years beforehand, and then a year after, went straight to married life.
And has it been happily married ever since, or?
I'll say this. It's been a challenge entirely. You learn a lot entirely. You get pressed in ways that you didn't prepare for, right? Like in terms to life, because you're walking through the stages of life now together, right? When you're single, you don't really care. Like, oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, no problem. I'll see you. I'll come by and visit. We'll go on a date. Oh, next weekend. All right.
But I mean, even when you guys were dating, like dating that 4 years, weren't you guys also living together? Wait, you didn't live together till you guys got married?
Yeah.
Whoa. How was that? Like that was probably a shock, like a culture shock, right?
Well, I'm very old school, so I guess that's just my mentality. It was very old school wise. So I wanted to, like, if I'm gonna get married, I want to make sure I'm out of the house. I don't want to be living. I don't want to be living at home, living with my folks or anything like that. So I wasn't really up for that, and she wasn't even up for that. So it worked out for us.
But you guys didn't want to do like the living together for a year before getting married type of thing, like?
That's no, and I think it's more spiritual principle that we have. That it's just.
You're both on the same level, spiritually.
So we didn't want to go into living in together with that, because it causes a lot of
living in sin,
a lot of problems. We don't want to do any of that. So we really valued and respected the relationship at that point, to just keep it clean, keep it good, right? But whenever you do go into that, it's very different. So imagine, your roommates, you chill, right? Yeah. Okay, so when you're dating somebody, they're not always at your house. They might come by, they might stay over, they might sleep over, whatever.
Yeah. Or they'll stay for like a couple of days, and then they're back to their thing.
Right. Now imagine your girlfriend is also the roommate.
It's like
she never leaves. She's always here.
Yeah.
She's always here,
there,
right? Yeah. So the adjustment to single life to now living with somebody. So I gotta learn about you when we go out and do all this other stuff. So this is, to me, is like surface level.
But then, like, when I'm in my space where I'm supposed to unpack and unwind, and be
that's when the layers come off. That's when the layers come off, right? It's like you go, when you get ready to, do a workout, and before you go to bed, you take a shower. The layers come off. So surface level wise, that's how our dating experience was like for 4 years. We get to know each other on that basis. We talk phone, we go out, this and that. When you're married and you're now living with this person every day, you see more things you didn't necessarily see when you were in the dating phase.
Interesting.
You start to see things, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know this about you. I like this about you. Why don't you do that more?
Even within the 4 years, like, you don't see these things because I guess they don't really show themselves until, like, you're...
It takes a long time to continuously know somebody. And as time goes on and as things age and go on, like...
I hear marriages,
people change it. People change over time, right? You get older and this and that, so it does happen for that.
I do hear marriage is like pretty much about constantly working on it every day. Like every day you're supposed to work on it. It's not just, you guys are married and then you can like take time off or whatever, right?
Yeah. But the mindset for me is I didn't know what that married life would look like.
I mean, nobody really does, right?
We have expectations. We have our idea.
Yeah.
But it's all fictitious ideas because you won't know until you get into it, right? You can plan for it, but it may not turn out the way you have it planned.
I mean, that's just what we do, though. We're men, right? We plan for things, right? We plan, and then, like, if it doesn't work out, we adjust accordingly, right? So that's just part of our instinctive being, I feel like.
But women operate differently.
They absolutely do. They absolutely operate differently.
Right. So that was also the other half of the adjustment, was learning how she looks at it. Okay. So it caused a lot of confusion. It caused a lot of back and forths, on and offs, good moments, bad moments for a good number of years afterwards. But what I'll say this here now, is that the most important part is having someone in your corner mentorship-wise, even during the relationship stage. Even as you get married.
Like, you can't expect, like, your significant other to be that one in your corner, I guess?
Not necessarily that. It's more for a sense of accountability. Holding you accountable.
But you guys can't hold each other accountable?
Yes, but someone that holds your marriage also. So, like, when you go and get married, you go to the altar. It's the man, the woman, and the pastor. So imagine the pastor is the one that is holding your marriage accountable.
In that moment,
holding you guys accountable to your own marriage.
Interesting.
Right? That's that mentorship.
Interesting. I never actually would have considered it like that.
That is the definition in my descriptive way of premarital counseling.
That makes sense.
So you go through these sessions you'll have, and they talk. The job is for the pastors to break you guys up. If you can do that, he wouldn't recommend it.
So like he basically just plays devil's advocate until like
because he wants because he's trying to see the strength in your marriage, the strength in the relationship itself.
Interesting.
Because if it can break your marriage very easily, it's
before you guys get into it,
it's going to be a problem, right? So that is what we don't. There's sessions for it, but I think it should be an ongoing thing, and it usually should be from an experienced couple who have tenure in marriage, right? Not a newly married couple should be doing that. Someone who's got credentials on their belt, right? They've been married for 10 years, 5 years, so they have some experience they can share. If they're married for 3 months, what are you going to tell me how to do it?
I mean, 3 months is still something, right? Compared to somebody who has.
But if you've been married like 6 months or 2 years and got divorced and you're trying to coach me, get out of here, man.
Damn.
Right? So it's good to have that kind of mentorship from an experienced perspective. We didn't have any of that. We just got married and went full motor into our own thing. And I still lived like I was single, even though I was married and this and that. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah, me and Christian, we'd go and hang out, we'd go party, we'd do this and hang out at this place till like 2 a.m. I come home. Oof. And she had a problem with that.
Well, I mean, you were still in your 20s at the time. Well, no, I can't even say that because like
times have changed.
That still sounds wild. Like even if you were married, still going out like that. Nah, that's crazy.
But I mean, I didn't see it as a problem, but she saw it as a problem.
Right.
So that's kind of where we had to kind of change that up a little bit. It took a while to adjust to that. But then what really caused the problem was some of the expectations that I would have, and this kind of, I always use this as a ground point for what the long problem that took place. So something simple. You finish a box of granola, you've done the last one out of the pantry, right?
The pet peeve stuff.
Why would you put that same empty box?
The box back in the... Why? Why do people do that, man? Just toss the box.
So that's exactly how I was feeling on the inside. So I would go to her and I say, hey, could you just, when you're done, just put that in the... It's literally, you look at the pantry cupboard, you turn around, the can is right there on the floor.
So it's the little petty things that just start...
And it started with just a simple ask. Like, hey, I went, because I wanted to grab one. I noticed it was empty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so let me just ask her, because I'm like, I know she eats it too. Hey, can you just, when you're done, put it over. It started very simple, right? But then it continued to be happening over and over again. So then it goes from me just asking, so now I got anger behind it. I got all that frustration behind it. I'm now raising my voice. I'm now getting angry, and now here's an argument about it all, right? And on her end, it's like I'm nitpicking.
Damn.
But the thing is, it's just respecting the fact that, hey, I just asked, can you just do this? And for me, I'm looking at it like, if I have to keep asking you, right? She'll have the same thing about me too. Like, oh yeah, you always have your sweaters on the chairs and whatnot. Leaving your clothes around them. Ask me to put them away. Right? So I get that. That doesn't, it wasn't like this led to that. It's just over time.
Yeah.
Right? So I had started developing habits too. But in my early states of the marriage, I'm a very clean freak, man. Like, I don't like dirt. I don't like, I'm very cleanly. Like, I tried doing that. But even with me trying to do that, she can be very sloppy. She can be very lazy. But it's partially somewhat sloppy, lazy, combined with being just tired in general. And I get that when you're busy, you can do that. But still, don't let that just pile up, right? At some point, do something about it.
But then it's in those instances where it's like you have your partner to look out in that instance, right? If she's too tired, then that's where you come into play.
Right, I don't mind doing that. But something as simple as, why are you leaving you just pull the box out, you grab something, you see it's empty, but instead of throwing it away, you just place it back. The laziness mentality behind doing that when something is finished, you throw it away.
Yeah,
mentality.
That's true.
Right. So the laziness of that part is where I'm like, okay, this is a problem. I already see she's a little sloppy, into something just with like her room and putting things away. to see that mentality completely changed my mindset from then.
But you guys didn't like talk that out, like the fact that she felt like slighted by you mentioning it, like
that was years later. But when
it took years to get to, wow!
It took years later before she started coming back at me about it.
Oh my!
But we did talk about it.
Okay.
We did talk about it because just me asking, and because once it started to escalate to the next level, so me being very calm and relaxive to now I'm a little bit raising my voice now, I'm a little bit irritated, it's now coming up. So each level goes up, we talk about it. Because if I'm having to express myself more on the same thing, and now you're concerned, well then there's obviously a reason why I'm being more frustrated with you, right? I can just simply ask you, but then you continue to do that. So I'm coming to you as, why are you still doing that? If I ask you and you look at me, you hear me, and you acknowledge what I said,
this is true,
and you continue to do that, it's like,
that gets under anybody's, like,
so for me, it's
I have a low tolerance for that.
For
myself.
me, it's a lack of respect, right? Women will operate on their feelings.
Yep, 100%.
Guys operate on respect
and logic. Yeah, respect and logic. Like, just I
cannot like you. I can hate your guts, but I'll respect you.
Facts. That's 100% facts.
Women can't do that.
No, they cannot. No, sir.
They can't do that. So I always talk about street smarts with her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't understand it. So I give her examples as things go on. So these behaviors trickling up led to a big disconnect.
Oh, there's Banjo.
Led to a big disconnect in the marriage in itself.
Keep talking.
There's no
washroom for a second.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
There's no communication. There's no communication. There's no talking. There's no acknowledgement. There's no respect. There's no value. And it just drags on and drags on and drags on. So eventually, at some point, people get tired. And I think just being tired of having to deal with the same stuff all the time and not being heard, and she's not being heard, it leads to a disaster. You can't build a relationship without communication entirely. You can't maintain a relationship without respect. I was just kind of dragging it along. No, I'm just saying that over time things got more complicated. Because the lack of respect, the bad communication. Once you lose the respect in itself, for me, it's like I can't trust you, right? And that's the thing. Like, guys operate differently with friendships, but like respect means the most thing to them.
It absolutely does. Like,
if I can't respect you, I don't have nothing to do with you.
It's true. If you can't just respect somebody, it's like, yo,
because that's like the tie-in doll, right? Now, I cannot respect somebody and gain the respect back, but you gotta earn it.
Yeah.
And that's an easy transaction.
Yeah.
Right? In these relationships between men and women, it's very difficult.
Too close. Yeah. We're too close.
It's too close, but also too vulnerable. Remember, we only dated for 4 years just before. We didn't live together. Now we're living together. So now we're learning more about each other. We're learning more about our living space. Right? It's like the first impressions fall off now. Now I see who you really are. I see your true colors now, right? Oh yeah, you're a slob. Okay.
Shit.
You put yourself nice together when you walk out the house. You looking fine as hell when you walk out. But then when you come home, I'm like, why is your jacket here? I'm like, so that's what your room looks like, right? So over time, you start to get to know about the person. And I think my dad, as much I hate the man, the wisest thing he'd ever even told me is that when it comes to like respect in general, just listen.
Yeah. I mean, people are always gonna drop gems. Even the people that we end up having terrible relationships with, they have lived a long life for a reason, right? Like, they will have some gems to drop.
The thing that my dad does very well is that. It's a good and bad thing. Like, he avoids conflict, but at the same time he won't carry on a conversation if you're yelling at him.
Is that something you learned from him?
I think I understand it more so when I saw that happen. Because I'm not afraid of conflict, but when it comes to relationships with people, that becomes a conflict. So I avoid having conversations, right? I don't want to engage because I don't feel comfortable, right? So it's very difficult to come back around to that.
That's true.
Right? Now, when you're married, that's what I said in the beginning, like marriage tests your limits too.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. So what I see, every time I talk to married people, they're like, the first thing they say, what's your advice for marriage? Don't get married. I'm like, why? Why is that the go-to phrase?
I think we're mistaking that phrase for a joke. Right? So, I mean, unless the person's serious, then there's probably something going on there.
They laugh too.
If they're laughing, then that's a good sign.
Everybody throws that same joke. I'm like, yo, there's some truth behind this. What's going on?
Well, maybe there is. But when they laugh, because that could just be a mask to cover what they really don't want to talk about, because marriage is...
Because there's too much to talk about.
Yeah, there's lots to get into. So it's just easier to just kind of joke about it. But if they're still together and they're still laughing at it, then, I mean, there's some humor. They know their ups and bumps and down and whatnot, but they figured it out. So you go and learn these things as you go along. But that's why they say these vows are important. So if you ever look at the vows in general,
especially when you write your own vows, so it's like
when you write your own vows, it's much deeper.
Yeah.
But the actual vows that get said, and you have to say yes, I do, or whatever, right? Death do your part.
That's crazy.
For better or for worse, for richer or for poor.
That's the part that people literally gloss over when they do get married. Because how are you so quick to get divorced?
They just want to get to the point. Get to the point,
how
right?
are you so quick to get divorced?
They're not listening to the words. Because it's a session. It's like a big to do. It's a broadcast. They just want the title. They just want that. It's not necessarily that.
Sign that document.
They just because it's a long drawn out process, and you imagine how long weddings are. Weddings are long.
So long.
So you just want to. You got all this stuff all over you as a woman. You just want to take this stuff. I don't want to keep wearing this all day, right? You're the guy and you're sweating all over the place, but you're trying to keep the jacket on so you don't see people back sweat. So at the end of the day, I mean, I could see that just kind of, but you're excited.
Yeah.
There's that high level energy there as well, but you're not really paying attention to the words. You're paying attention to the moment, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But multitask.
That's true. That is a fact. That is a fact.
You can be in the moment. You can be in the vibe and the energy. It can be rich and real. But listen.
That's true.
And I got to witness that my sister's wedding, my God, was probably a love story that had to be a fairy tale you'd read out of a book.
No, I love those.
All her friends that she knew from high school were there in the wedding party. Cute. And they all knew each other.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
She met him in high school, and she is 31 years old.
Wow, so they've been together. Wow, that's a long.
And they just got married last year. Labor Day.
I knew a couple that I knew them from, like, they got together in elementary school. Like, I knew them from like grade 1, grade 2, but like they started dating like around, I want to say like grade 6, and from grade 6 on they've been together. Like in high school they were continuing to date. After high school they got married. They have kids now. I'm like, yo, that felt like a fairy tale thing to me, because like they've literally been together since elementary school.
Yeah,
that was really cool. But so I don't know the inner workings of their relationship either. So
I don't know, man. But
they could have an open relationship.
The longer that you know that person, I mean, it's like, you know, they say like you end up dating your best friend.
Yeah.
You get married to your best friend. So that's kind of the vibe and energy in a sense where they've been best friends for so long.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. But people are scared of the marriage title and what goes along with that. So they will not go through the process, but they will live the process.
Yeah, they just want the ceremony.
Not even the ceremony.
Wow.
That's what we got common law now.
That's true. Wow.
which is a problem.
True, yeah.
But it's an easy out.
It is.
Right? But in the eyes of the Canada, like once they see you as common law, they practically consider you married.
Yeah, because almost the same rules apply. Like when you're trying to split stuff up, right?
That's why they do that, because people are trying to avoid going through marriage because there's a lot of legalities involved.
Like, you don't want to pay for the marriage license? All right, fine, we'll do common law then.
Well, it's not just that. Like when you go as a divorce, like that's what they split all your assets in half. So if you own a house,
split your assets in common law too.
Not
the same way.
I don't know. There definitely some ups and downs with that, but I don't know the full story of all of that, the full scope of it. But with marriage, yeah, definitely. You own a house.
Would you say your wife is your best friend? I mean, you guys have been together for fucking 13 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's been the closest friend I've ever actually had. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I've known her same number of years I've known Christian and you.
That's a long ass time.
That's a long ass time. Long ass time. But I mean, I live with my best friend every day.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, we had a lot of good moments and vacations. I mean, Bahamas was great. Dominican and so on. So we've had our ups and down moments, but like I said, without that mentorship that's been happening, it's like unchecked therapy.
Damn. Unchecked therapy sounds wild.
It literally is, because like I said, the pastor or mentor to keep us accountable would have been like the therapist, a marital therapist. That's why you have marital counseling.
Did your mentor is a pastor?
He was a youth pastor, and now he's on a men's ministry leader. But yes, he's been helpful.
Do you guys continue to go to church every Sunday?
Okay. Sorry?
You guys still go to church every Sunday, or?
That was until the incident.
Damn.
So, all this has been happening, the disconnect, miscommunication, all this stuff is going on. There's been challenges where she wanted to divorce, wanted to hey, maybe we should get a divorce. She would mention it, but then I'm like, man, I grew up with a single mom. My dad wasn't around, so I'm I watched my mom go through that. And
it's like the Will Smith thing, I'm never getting divorced.
Yeah, and then the second marriage she's in now is toxic, way worse than the first one. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to do that either. So, and I believe our Christian principles that, you get married, you stay, work it out, for better, for worse.
Exactly. Well, that's what the law says.
Those words hit you. But then, because there was so much of a disconnect, and I guess because of selfish reasons on both parts, not getting our needs met, not being respected, not being listened to, all these things that can grow on, it caused a lot of separation.
Shit.
So we were married, but not really. She ended up being feeling like my roommate.
Damn.
Right? So
you guys were married in name only at that point.
Yeah. So still trying to figure it out. Then we get a house. And at this point I'm like, okay, well, maybe this might help. But then I started to do therapy because I'm like, I see she's literally doesn't care about her own self. She got in an accident, and instead of working on making sure she gets better, she's laying on the floor. I'm like, you have an accident, you're going to fit, you shouldn't. So she's obviously not caring about herself. So I stepped in. That's what caused the light switch to go on. Oh, he still cares. Then I see she wants to do marital counseling. I'm like, no, we got to do therapy. You do one, I do one, then we work on ourselves. We can work each other out afterwards. It doesn't make sense.
That's not very reasonable.
Otherwise, it's going to cause a problem.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do it. She waited on me. And I have a history of not being consistent. If I say I'm going to do something, she's expecting me to do it, and then I don't do it. And so
I kind of see why she's waiting
looking at me from the outside, going, okay, let's see how long this is going to work. And I knew that. But I started therapy and it changed my life. I started seeing self-reflection, looking at myself and seeing all these things because I noticed, I'm like, if I don't do something's gonna happen,
gotta give, yeah.
So I'm like, I need to do this. I don't want to do it anyway. My mom, grandma, everyone's talking to me about, you should do therapy. Until my old manager tells me, your company has benefits for this. I said, what? So I signed up within the next month.
Oh my God.
So that started the journey. And then I started to kind of get, after the accident, I'm doing therapy, things are looking great. All of a sudden not even that far after therapy, months after that, we start kind of going into, hey, this is looking good for us.
Yeah.
And then, last year she dropped the bomb on me.
It happened last year?
No. She
just got the confidence last year.
It wasn't even the fact that she had confidence. My good close friend had a dream one day, and he's very prophetic actually. He saw in his dream that she was in some sort of hotel wearing a robe with a guy that was very light skinned and looked like his cousin.
What the fuck kind of dream was this, bro? So like that is like
he had
a
this
vision.
Dream. He had a dream, but he went to Narcotic. He's like, hey, just he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But he's just like, hey, just be very careful. I don't know what's happening. She calls him back and then says, hey, this is what's been happening.
OMG.
So
wow.
It was provoked.
Wow.
Right? So not like she came to me, right? We weren't speaking for months.
The fact that it was from somebody else that wasn't even privy to what was going on, that's like divine intervention right there.
God had stepped in on that.
Shit.
God stepped in on that. So that prompted, so it's not like she would have just kind of came and told me, right? The problem with all that happening in the time that it did is that it was 6 years later.
Oh, come on.
She's been holding on to this for 6 years.
Yo.
She had this affair for 3 years.
Yo.
I even met the dude. She has coworkers she's really close with, their friends and this and that, guy, girls.
It was
whatever.
a coworker?
Yeah. So, and she's been running this company for a long time. They all know each other, they're friends and whatnot. So I'm like, there's a culture, like a vibe happening there. But with the disconnect with us, we also have similar complexion. There's some slight similar features that we may have physically wise. And on top of it, our personalities are very like-minded.
She saw you and him.
Exactly.
Damn.
So, and with the attention that she's not having from me is being poured into every day in her office, it's very easy
to see the attention that she wants from you in him. Oh my God.
So it was a long process before that happened. She told me she was starting to have a dream, that she had a dream that she was, a dream about another coworker, having feelings for him. I was actually having dreams. I had a few. And there were nightmares because it was literally seeing her with somebody.
Gee, what the heck?
I had dreams of literally 3 different occasions
Lord.
And I would tell her about it, and I just felt weird. I'm like, this is just weird. I told her about it.
Yeah.
And, to be honest, she did look pretty awkward in the moment, but I wasn't reading her vibe.
Of course you weren't reading it back then, but hindsight's 20/20, right? That's how it always goes down.
No, but so this was like an ongoing thing. So she'd been having feelings, and then the one thing I wish she never did was to tell the man about the dream.
She told the dude about... No, come on.
So you're developing feelings for this person to the point where now you have a dream about this person.
That's actually crazy.
And then you go and tell the man.
No.
He's a married man with kids.
He's married to... No.
But here's the thing. He might be having trouble. He might be having trouble in his marriage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like otherwise he wouldn't have pursued either. Like
he wouldn't have trouble in his marriage.
This is crazy.
That's one thing. So if and I don't even if I was having trouble and some woman was like just kind of like flirting and doing this, I'm like, well, here's the one thing. Guys are dogs too. If this is a coworker and nobody at home needs to know, and everyone seems to be pretty cool and chill about it, ain't nobody gonna find out.
Nah, I learned a long time ago to stop messing with coworkers, man.
I did.
I learned that a long time ago.
I did a long time ago too.
That shit ever again.
That's how I know that that's a bad idea. But that's what's happening, right? That's why I tell her, I don't date coworkers.
At all.
I don't.
At all.
I learned my lesson. Last time was that was the worst time.
Yeah.
I had to leave my job.
I think it was still back when we were in college when I learned
that was actually
lesson.
Just before I came to Centennial.
I learned that lesson way back then. Like
2006, 2007. That's why I moved to Toronto.
Yeah.
To get away from her. And I ended like a dumbass. I ended up letting her fly me back.
No.
And I stayed for a month. And my aunt bought me a ticket to come down the first time. And then I felt so bad because she got me the job there too.
Oh.
And I'm living with her, so I felt bad.
Now you were a dog, man.
I felt
what
bad.
the hell?
I felt bad.
Oh my God.
So I felt bad, but she was horrible. So she bought the ticket. I went back. I went back, and within a month, I'm like, nah, this is not. It's not. No. So my aunt was actually trying to get me. The second time I reached out to me, I'm like, okay, I am sorry. Send my ass back. And yeah, I came back.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't think coworkers. But this energy she's been doing was what was happening. Yeah. So yeah, man. So she would tell me about different guys, you know, flirting, hitting up on her, and I know who they are. And like these weird looking dudes. So I didn't really see anything, but I'm like, yeah, I get people flirt with me out, whatever. It's what you do with that that matters. So I didn't really care. As long as you do anything with it, then it's fine. They can flirt all they want.
Yeah.
So she would tell me other stories about, you know, that's how I got to know the guy. I know who he is and what he does and this and that. So it's just, he's a pretty easygoing kind of guy.
How do you feel about the guy now, though, after all of this?
He better not cross my path.
Yeah, straight up.
I've been even to this day still got diabolical thoughts.
I would too. I would too.
I have so many different ideas of what I'm gonna do to make him
the lack of disrespect that he allowed, like the fact that he knew that she was married.
She was working.
That's the disrespect.
They had to work at a remote location one day, and I was supposed to pick her up. I was late picking her up at the office, so he was driving her halfway to meet me, and I would pick her up. So they met halfway. She gets out of the car and, you know, puts her stuff in the bag in the car. But then I'm like, why are y'all talking behind the back of the car for so long? I'm just listening to music. And as soon as I put the window down, I see him get in the car and she gets in. Because I was about to roll the window down to hear what they're saying.
This is wild.
Right? Didn't think anything of it. My Flix and Fly account that I use for movies, those referrals, you can send referral codes. I can't get those anymore.
Why?
The service, they just stopped doing the whole refer a friend deal, right?
Oh, okay.
He's one of them I sent them to.
Get the fuck out of here.
So,
man.
So not only do
I'm mad for you. Holy.
So not only do I have the man's email and phone number and all this stuff, but all that stuff here, I got to meet him too. So to find out years later that was the dude.
Of shit.
That was the dude.
Oh my god.
But what really bothers me, even though with all that other stuff that happened, when we bought the house, I guess because of COVID, we couldn't really go anywhere. We were all working from home.
Right.
It would have been really suspicious if she just left the house.
It's true.
And then come back with COVID.
It's true.
Right? So it would have made things a problem.
Yeah.
So nothing happened that year. We got our house 2021. She refers the man to work the same company she's at now, the new job. So you leave this place, you go to another job, a year later you go to this one.
Wait, but you didn't see any red flags from that? Like that
I didn't know
suspicious?
That she didn't even tell me that he worked there.
Oh.
I thought he was still at the other place.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
He got the job and he was working there for a whole year.
Nah.
And then he found something else.
Nah.
So on his last day, she decided to take him to, to a dinner, treat him to dinner, like the last day type of thing. She's also his manager. Why are you taking one employee?
This is wild.
That was one question I had.
This is so
because
wild.
You go on team outings, team lunches, and the whole team comes with you. Why wasn't the team there with you?
Wow.
It was just you and him. So the team wasn't there?
This is crazy.
Right?
This is crazy.
So something happened in the car at that point. And then that was actually 2 weeks before she got in the car accident.
Get the fuck out of here. Jeez.
So divine intervention again.
Like all of these things, just like
she was actually going to get in, because we were sharing a car and it was causing problems. She works in 15 minutes away, and my office is like right up the street. So with one car.
Yeah.
So it's tough. So she was gonna buy a secondary car. I'm like, wait. I'm gonna get work from home access this week.
Yeah.
I didn't know when.
Yeah.
So she does this thing, buddy. 2 weeks later, car accident that she was actually going to meet up the car she was looking at buying.
Wow.
She was gonna buy a secondary car.
This is fucking crazy.
The one we had was already paid off. So she was gonna she was gonna look at a Nissan Sentra, a 2018 Sentra that was advertised for sale. She wanted to take a look at it. That was the accident.
What are the odds, man?
What are the odds of that? Plus me driving a Sentra now.
That's how you know, man. Like, this is all divine.
We both drive Nissans.
This is crazy.
Okay.
This is actually crazy.
But that accident is 2 weeks after that incident. So when she tells me, remember I told you that she changed from the accident because like all of a sudden now I'm paying attention, I'm caring more and this and that. So from then till that December, things looked great. September to about December was great. It was a huge increase, right? All of a sudden I've changed because I'm seeing my flaws. I'm fixing those, and she's responding to that energy too. And then February comes in, and I actually asked her, why did you not tell me right away? Well, she had to work. So when that conversation happened, it was on a Sunday. She had to work on Monday. So she had to tell me, and she wanted to not tell me and then drive to the office. She wanted to wait for a day.
Wait until she could actually just go to the office right after.
Well, she works from home as well. Like 3 days a week at the time she worked from home. So she wanted to wait until there was a day where she worked from home and not have to go to the office the next day.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And waited till after work.
Yes, that's fair.
So she was working from home, and then after work, she tells me this thing. Let me tell you, if you ever saw a black man turn into Casper Ghost, like a ghost himself, if a black person could be a ghost, my face,
yikes.
If I was to animate that as a cartoon character,
I don't even know how I would react in that situation.
You know those bubble ghost cartoons?
Yeah.
White face,
literally
big wide
straight,
eyes.
all the blood from your face just gone. Yeah, I know that.
But as she's telling me, just crying, being all hysterical, I'm like.
I actually hate that. I hate when they get hysterical in their thing. Like, what are you doing?
I don't like listening to a woman cry. But when it's something they did,
and then they cry, like, what are you really doing?
Then I don't hear waterworks.
Yeah,
I don't hear anything. So I was silenced everything out that I'm still processing. Did I just hear what I think I just heard? So I seen her crying like that because I know, one, it's very difficult to even say it in the first place.
Yeah. Fair.
And I respect the fact that she had the courage to say so.
Somewhat, because look how long it took.
Here's the kicker with that. So with the friend, the dream, and the conversation there, he says, well, you need to talk to your pastor because she was also in ministry too, right? Okay. And tells pastor's like, you have 3 days to tell him or I will.
Shoutouts to the pastor, yo. What the wow.
So she waited the extra day because, of course, she wanted to wait till work from home and whatnot. So it was an extra day beforehand. But she deleted all sorts of stuff, and which makes me feel a little suspicious about that because it's like you covered all your tracks now.
You covered your tracks, and then you tell me like, nah, this sounds even worse.
But pastor told her that she needs to cut all contact off with him.
Fair.
But I don't think he said delete everything.
Yeah.
He said
like cutting off contact doesn't mean fucking deleting.
She took that as the same. If I'm going to cut off all contact, I'm going to delete everything. That's how she took it.
That's
womp womp. No, I don't know about all that. Because why would you then do that? And then you have to tell this man who's already analytical.
And now you're also lacking closure.
Details. I need closure, and I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna have questions and want to verify stuff, and you delete all that.
Yeah.
So then, how am I supposed to trust what you were telling me?
It makes you feel more guilty. Like you look more guilty. She looks more guilty.
She looks more guilty, but I feel guilty myself, getting angry because it's like, okay, well, the fact you're telling me this is horrifying news.
Is that a manipulation tactic?
No,
because why are you feeling guilty?
Could be. But here's the thing, though. You deleting all the information, and now you're telling me this.
It's suspicious.
How do I know that there's not more that you're not telling me?
Or like she's more involved in the process.
Or she's covering something else. Like, I will take the lash for saying this, but I'm gonna sugarcoat it. Of course. So it's been a constant battle nonstop because, and the thing is, there were 3 incidences where I thought were something shady she was doing. Ask her about it, and she got all upset about it. And I'm like, okay, well, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna keep the peace here. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. But then I find out that those suspicions were accurate.
So does that change how you react every time she responds in an angry manner? Is it like always suspicion at that point?
Sorry, dog. Every time she says things, I'm usually questioning.
Damn.
If this is real or is not.
That's so
having to
tough.
validate, having to spot check things, right? I have share locations on her and whatnot. I was in their email accounts looking up everything. I found other pieces of evidence of things that weren't deleted.
Damn.
That had me question things, and I got more out of her.
Man, that's a tough spot to be in.
So and as much as I didn't feel I need the full detail of everything because I'm so analytical, I need to find a way to make this picture make sense. Because of the different interactions that she's had, there's been on and off stages, and blots and spots over a course period of 3 years. So obviously, I don't see him around. Then you're doing so outside of, lunch breaks, after work, right? You're coming home late hours. So, yeah, so that was my issue. But even if something does seem like she's telling the truth, there's always doubt.
Man. That is.
And what kills me more, and this is what I'm dealing with now, is I have to learn how to trust myself.
You lost trust in yourself because of this?
Dude, my gut instinct, my street smart instinct, is telling me.
You've been saying like, nah, I'm not gonna listen to my gut. Look, for how long were you?
She's telling me she just wants to get away. She just needs time away, needs some space, and she's gonna go to a hotel for the weekend. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? You leave here,
so you can go smash the guy some more? Like, what the hell? Like, that's what my mind would be thinking.
So I was already thinking that. So I'm like, what? So you can go sleep with somebody there? Is that why are you doing that? Like, why would you do that? She got mad. She got mad about it.
Damn.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna, because I feel like an asshole, because I'm assuming you're doing that. Maybe you just want some time away. I get it. You're in a rough spot.
That gives me manipulation tactics.
I give you some space. I give you some space, right?
That's crazy.
But you have space. You go in the bedroom, lock the door.
That's fact.
I'm in the living room.
That's
you
fact.
want space, you got space there.
Or go for a walk.
Or I'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
Ask me to go for a walk, right? But that was kind of that. So trusting my instinct to know that if I was right or wrong is questionable. I thought I was right this whole time. You made me believe that everything that I was believing was not right, was wrong. 6 years, bro.
6 years.
So how do I know what so I'm now going back and analyzing, like, what was I thinking? What was I feeling? All the stuff was different. Some of the stuff was lies. And the thing is, when someone can lie and manipulate that well to the point where their lies and truth look exactly the same, to feel the same.
That's a scary thing.
It's a scary thing.
That's a very scary thing.
So then how do I know that you're telling me the truth or you're lying? How do I know that you're not hiding stuff?
You just don't. Like,
because you know you're in trouble. You know when you know you're in trouble, but you don't tell the whole truth. You just tell, because you're already in trouble anyway.
Just tell what you can.
Yeah, like you're already in trouble anyway. You're in hot water. So why then need to tell the whole story? You just tell the general specifics and just get by with that. But there might be more to the story.
That's a fact.
And then I'm telling her what I'm going to do to this guy, and she's like, no.
Okay. All right, well, I guess the cameraman's telling us to wrap it up because the camera's about to die just now.
We might have to do another.
We're going to have to do a part two. Like, yeah, man, I love this conversation. It's a crazy conversation. See? Again, this is the type of talks I wanted to have with people. But I guess we're going to have to wrap it up. Shout outs to JahMario for being here. We're definitely going to do a part two. And
just like the shirt says, I paused my game to be here.
I love that. Yo, once again, another episode of Rich Talks. And shout outs to the intro. Salute to the outro. Peace.